you for the suggestion. That's too ambitious for me. But what we are rocking today is a thermoalchemist burn Izzet spells-ish deck with a few secret combos, so to speak. So one of the cards that stands out is expedite, but expedite certainly plays an important role. It's not great with, obviously, Storm Chaser Mage, though it triggers prowess, and Thermo, though it can make it do 1 damage with haste. But it's really there for is to catch this Enigma Drake when we get into the mid or late game, and we can have a big old graveyard, and we can play Hasty Drake. So that's what's up with that. Also, Insult, just a one of, but you gotta beat Fog somehow. And usually when you play an Insult, if you have out even 1 Thermoalchemist and 1 Shock, you end up doing more than you would with an Exquisite Firecraft. So that's why it's in the deck instead of Exquisite Firecraft. And otherwise, we've got draw spells and selection spells and prowess triggers and must deal with threats. So we got 13 critters in the deck. All of them, it's like, kill this on sight or you could die, or at least be miserable. Jace is more of the make you miserable type, but Thing in the Ice we can flip quickly. Thermo just goes ballistic. Storm Chaser piles up the damage. And of course, Enigma Drake. Anything that we have that targets creatures aside from these unsubstantiates that keep us from losing to very large things or spells are going to the dome. So Twin Bolt and Shock as opposed to Fiery Impulse and Harness Lightning. Let's go light things on fire! Is Slip Through Space not good? So I don't like playing Slip Through Space with creatures that either have evasion or creatures that don't attack. So you have to remember, like, what are you slipping through space? Well, slip through space on Thing in the Ice, unless it was already flipped. When it flips, it bounces all the blockers. So that's not really a thing. Slip through space on Jace, it has no power. Slip through space on Thermoalchemist, it has no power and it has Defender. Slip through space on the Storm Chaser Mage or the Enigma Drake, they fly. You should be able to remove the flying blockers with the Twin Bolts or the unsubstantiates. So you can see that unblockable. We're just not really in the market for it. We're much more in the market for the haste off the expedite, though. If we're going to do 1 mana draw card, expedite's the way to go. And you don't want too many of that effect. You want just enough, the right amount. Because if that's all you have, then you can't do anything about the board. All right, on the play. Bringing out our Harmless Kitten. We have Fevered Vision, so I cannot mulligan this hand, even though we have no threats. I have a problem, and the problem is Fevered Visions. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more visions. I'll just put it that way. Zarvault says, thanks for explaining your card choices. That's why I watch. I love learning more about the game. Sorry I ask a lot of questions sometimes. Like, I totally don't mind if you ask a question like, what about this card? Or is, like, even the way you phrased it, it's like, slip through space not good? Well, not good for this deck. What I mind are people who are like, you need to run such and such. I'm like, okay, explain the need part to me. Don't just ram it down my throat. That's the only time I get a little, like, yeah. Yep, I'm not going to even do anything to that. I'm not going to dignify that creature with a response just yet, because we may end up burning the opponent out, so I'd feel silly about shocking. Yeah, we can definitely just get this cooking. Yeah, our opponent is definitely wishing they had a turn 1 Suntail Hawk, so that their pressure would be higher right now, but they just didn't have the perfect draw. Skirmisher, though, AI staple. You play the AI, you will get skirmished with. Fog goes well with Enigma Drake. Not that people need a reason to play Fog. They play it regardless of what's available. All right. We could hold up shock for this thing, but I just don't think so. Our opponent could have some kind of counter, so I'm going to play my land first so we have unsubstantiate mana. And I think we need more blue than red based on this hand. And then we're going to play Thing in the Ice. Alright, no play from the opponent, so we'll try to take inventory. And yeah, more take inventory is always what you want. Hey, Peter. Peter jumps in out of the lurker seat and into the chat room just to say obligatory Stormcrow insert. Thank you. There's always a Stormcrow. There's always another Stormcrow. Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, the seal has teeth. The seal has teeth. Fog is a perfect way to be able to do any attack you want. And if they don't block the way you want, you just hit the reset button with Fog. Brilliant. Later, Kucha. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, the seal has teeth. Fortunately, we got that unsubstance. And we also have another visions, which I think I'm just fine going off on visions. I also think I'm fine doing this right now. I don't want to risk a counter spell. We're really, like, we could have also just flipped Thing in the Ice, but then what would we target with the unsubstantiate? Is it just worth flipping Thing in the Ice right now and hitting for 7? Or would I rather keep Thing in the Ice on the battlefield? No. Thing on the Ice on the battlefield. That way he still has to deal with it, or if he builds a board, we just wipe it. Oh. Alright. And yeah, unsub fixes that. Thing in the Ice fixes that. And, you know, this deck not gonna get punked out by Glory on this. Not Glory, Destiny. Not gonna get punked out by Angelic Destiny on this hand. No way, Jose. Separatist Void Mage, not the worst. That at least keeps Thing from being too Thing-like. But the opponent's taking that fever damage. Yeah, we're on Howling Mine. Where's my stasis? That's what I want. I want to play Turbo Stasis like it is 1997. That's what I want to do. I want to play Turbo Stasis. Unsub their creatures, but sub to CGB. Thank you. Greed is good. That is a plug if I have heard one. Props. All right, lands to the yard. We can put up the walls. That seems pretty good, especially while our opponent isn't making a lot of headway. So why not? Make them deal with all of it. Tragic Arrogance, Planar Outburst, whatever, they're still dealing with Fevered Visions, and we're still building a hand. Shard's Heart is in the right place, but you don't have to call people out if they're not subbed. That doesn't mean they can't say nice things that might encourage others to. No need to call people out. They do what they gonna do. I do what I gonna do. Razorfoot Griffin. Boom. Declaration Stone is the call from yonder. Well, if they ever put Declaration Stone in the starter box, I'd agree. But I know my enemy. I know what's going on here. This is definitely one where you got to remind me to give him gold. So, do we have lethal here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we've got lethal. Oh yes. All right. All right, so I just need to get them really close. And if they hang around, okay. So at this point, you guys know what's going to happen from here. Shock, Twin Bolt, etc. Let's make sure that they get some gold to get off that starter box deck. We forgot the Razorfoot, says Kreider. Yonder says, I meant Suntail Hawk. Yeah, exactly. Declaration Stone or Suntail Hawk. We all know. All right. Well, this person brought out the Eldrazi avatar, so I'm already like, my blood pressure's pumping. My adrenaline is spiking. My testosterone is working. I'm like, I see an opponent. Anybody who takes the time to pick out their backgrounds, and that's one you have to pay gold for. So I'm optimistic. Optimistic we're going to have a battle. Let's see what happens. I'm on the play, right where I want to be. This hand is good. First mulligan and keep. We've got some discussion of beer. Right on, arrogant rabbit. Okay, red mana, but that doesn't shoot for 3. So we can get Storm Chaser to work. Gonna have to do a lot of damage, though. But let's start that clock. Red black Abbott for no value. So aggro on aggro. And Glorybringer, get out of town. I appreciate that. That's a good draw. Let's drop thing in the ice though. Certainly want to get that guy to work. And we'll see what our opponent does. Very unlikely I'll block here. I don't want to let him off the hook, like trade a shock from my thing in the ice. Handward battlements. Yep, they know how to attack. Bravo. Okay, no blocks. What do you got? No spells. So it must be a creature. PNLR. Another rabbit. Should have done that before playing the land though. And we're going to exile a garrison with a battlements on the table. That's going to hurt. Now, do I go for Twin Bolt? If he has a spell like a Fatal Push, so I guess I just want to do it at the right time. He might go for it on my end step. Although I bet we can draw it out when I play this expedite. And I need this expedite to resolve. So I'm going to target one of... I could target one of my creatures to draw out the push. I think I'll target the Storm Chaser Mage. Then if he has Fatal Push, he plays it. And in response, I play Twin Bolt. I lose my Storm Chaser Mage, but I'm down to 2 counters on Thing in the Ice. Now the other option is I expedite his creature and then attack with Storm Chaser Mage. I don't play the Twin Bolt unless he goes for the push. Actually, I like that better. Okay, so we're gonna do this. And we do hit the land. I was hoping for that land. So we'll see. We'll go for it again. Nice. All right. Swing. See if a push comes out. No push. But you could be saving it for the Thing in the Ice, so I'm just going to pass. Gonna show some patience. Crumbling Vestige. Magma Spray. Target. Okay, so there's probably double removal coming here, which means I should not Twin Bolt. Alright, so we're gonna let that go. No blocks. Didn't play another instant. Interesting. And Savage Alliance. So that'll deal 2 damage. Yeah, that's the play. Okay. But we got him tapped out, so now we get to kill those abbots. And we get to play a Drake if we find an untapped land. And we do have the untapped land. I'm not going to keep the Fevered Visions as much as I love that card. Wrong matchup. So now we get to untap. We get to Twin Bolt your dorks. Get to play Land Drake. And hit. Hello, Mandingo. Looks like you're already being welcomed to the party, so the only other thing I can have to say is I've played Magic a long time, I really like Magic, and I'm glad you're, welcome to the channel. Hope you have fun. There will be no, I'm sorry to give you bad news, but there will be no upgrade to Hour of Devastation. They are not releasing that for Magic Duels. There was an announcement on the Wizards site. Yeah, so bad news. Also, Skysav is here. So, do I deploy the team? Or do I take the inventory? I think I want to try to get all I can out of every spell. So I think I need to deploy the team. But if I deploy thermoalchemist and he plays a creature, it dies. So that's not that great. So let's take the inventory instead. Shock. Shock is good. Alright, let's land that hit. Play our other Drake. And my dog is barking at something, so I gotta run upstairs. So let's hope this ends pretty quick. And since I'm tapped out, I'm just gonna run and see if there's somebody at my door. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Looks like we have lethal here. I can't think of what would stop me except a lava axe. Sorry, opponent, for making you wait. My dog. My stupid dog. Alright, so my dogs are actually really smart. I only have one dog, but I'm watching someone's dog, and they're both really smart. But the dog I am watching, his name is Baxter. He got outside. Like, he opened my screen door on his own. I have no idea how, but he got outside. And then my dog, Lily, she never barks. She's the quietest dog ever. She just never barks at anything. And I hear her bark, so I have to go see what's up. She was barking to let me know that he got outside. She was tattling on him, so that I could come make sure he doesn't, wander off. Of course, he wouldn't go anywhere. Baxter doesn't go anywhere. He's just sitting on the porch. But it's like, way to go, dude. You got outside on your own. I don't know how the hell you did that. But thank you to my dog for letting me know, so I could go fix it. Very, very smart doggy. And a snitch, but a very smart doggy. I mean, every parent loves a good snitch. They want to know what their kids are doing. Can't keep you. Can keep you. These hands are tight today. Give her a dog treat, no problem. I'm guessing that Strippergram let the dog out? Maybe. No comment. Okay, forest, primal druid. I think we should be starting the party with Storm Chaser Mage in case we draw Fevered Visions, because Alchemist doesn't trigger off that. Ooh, Drake. Actually, so we can curve Storm Chaser into Drake and just be Team Airborne. And bring it. The real question is, who let the dog out? Who? Wow. People still do that? Remember that song? Amazing. Liliana is named after the dog. Yeah. Lily! That's right. That's my dog, Lily. Okay, we've got some kind of an embalmy. Hot Crop Skirmisher. 2-1, embalm for 4. Doesn't stop a flyer. Doesn't stop a flyer. Double thermoalchemist. What's the right play? Probably thermo. It blocks. I mean, this does too, but I feel like thermo's more expendable, and right now this has no power. It'll grow, sure, but like thermo will do just as much damage, and I feel a lot better blocking with it. But Drake is more mana efficient, and we all know I love being mana efficient. I do not have a cat called Ormondal, but that would be funny, Nighthawk. I do not deny how funny that would be. We'll stick to the mana efficient. Play the 04 Drake. Yeah, it doesn't have to block now. I'm just looking at the value. Unless my opponent has some kind of lure effect. Just fighting for every inch, man. They're not all worth fighting for, but I'd take a look anyway. Nissa! You have to die. Actually, you don't. I could probably leave. So I have a theory that I could just leave this card on the battlefield and never care. Should we test that theory? Should we just ignore it? I'll think about it at least. I mean, I could just kill it, but I could also just ignore it. And I think the card is just that freaking bad, really. You can deploy double thermoalchemist, and then every spell is just a total beating. I think I like that a lot. So this turn we'll just attack for 1, but then next turn we'll go the hell off. We actually don't have that many spells, so we need to make the most of the spells we do have. I mean, 10 damage, so what? I'm at 20. I could take 2 of those, and it would take my opponent like 5 turns to deal me 20 with this thing. But yeah, we're gonna set up the machine guns. That's what we're gonna do. Every spell is gonna be worth 4 damage. Now we've only got 2 of them, so I think it's important to do the big setup. Hopefully we draw into more, but you know how Duels is. Gift of Paradise, that will buy some life. That is helpful. What a pretty forest we have all of a sudden. That's pretty funny. Nissa goes to 6, cool. Alright, let's start off this way. Of course, we drew another land. There's probably 3 lands on top of the deck. That's why we have to make the most of these things. Right, and... guess I have to play the island. And yeah, no other spells. Naturally. Shite. Well, I'm not gonna play the Storm Chaser Mage this turn. Or could I? I guess I could. I mean, what am I unsubstantiating? Not much. I guess I'm better off playing the Mage and saving the unsubstantiate. So, if that's the way it's gonna be, I'm gonna attack the Nissa for 1 so that you guys who are scared of me getting ultimated don't have to see that. Although I should probably just go to the head. I really should. This is gonna be a close game because my draw is so poor. I need to get all the damage I can get. If he wants to ultimate me, fine. Because we know we're drawing a land next turn. Nothing I can do about it. Unsubstantiate will be, let's see, he'll be at 12. Unsubstantiate will be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then if we untap after that, we win. Yeah, assuming the alchemists live. Yep, wow, look, he got a land. Wow, it would be actually pretty awesome if my opponent were able to Nissa combo me with the Gift of Paradise and Insult, as Zarvault is mentioning. That would be pretty legendary. But we're just gonna go to the dome and pray for the best. Draw that land. We'll play this tapped one. Hit. Hit. Bounce you. Nope. No, let him ultimate. I mean, the only way I would care is if it was an insult, but I'm not going to play around that. I'm just not going to. If that's the ending that is here for me, so be it. But nope, I'm going to put him to 0. That way, even if he... Or I'm going to put him on 2, because that way, even if he has, like, Crush of Tentacles, I can replay the Storm Chaser Mages and win, even if I draw another blank. And if he somehow gets rid of everything I have, maybe we draw a shock. So, yeah. All to the head. All to the head. Nothing but the face. I'm all about that face. About that face. No Nissa. Alright, hold on to your butts. And concession. So we win despite only drawing 2 spells in our 30 spell deck. Yeah! That draw's gonna lose 90% of competitive games. Probably more than that. Probably more than that. But you take what you get. Doobie snacks. Woot. Let's battle. Alright, I can work with that. It's gonna be our first appearance of this card. Fumerole. We'll just leave the game and get another. I don't want to play against the AI in a hand that the opponent just didn't want to play. Does not count. No Nighthawk with a GGWP. Good game, well played. There was no handshake at that table. If we put ourselves in the mental state that, you know, that we were sitting down to a game of cards, there was no handshake. Ryder says best game yet. Well, at least that opponent knew what was coming. At least they knew the score. Here we go again. Now we're on the draw. And this hand has no threat. This hand has a threat. No blue. We'd have to draw blue. How much blue is in this deck? 14. And get 2 looks. So it's about a 30%er. About 3 looks before we're desperate. Let's see what happens. Yeah, right into Sunblade Elf. Okay, we're gonna be dead fast at least if we screw this up. Looking screwed up. Let's just target this now. Yeah! That's right. That's why I'm me. Because I'm a luck sack for days. Zarvolt, you had no faith? Said don't keep it? You're right. If I had been beaten down by Coral Merfolk, I would not feel good about it, but alas, we've got a shot now. Instead, we just curve out perfectly. I'd rather be lucky than good every day. Yeah, Coral Merfolk, when's the last time you ran into that? Okay, do we D up? That is kind of the question, right? My opponent's gone 1-drop, 2-drop. Can I race that? How much damage would I have to take? I don't have any removal. And probably one of my best cards here is Fevered Visions. It does no good if I'm dying. I think I have to D up. My opponent's opening is just, you know, they're ahead of me in the stuff department. I'm not going to do 1 damage to prevent 3 when I could prevent 3. Any attacks? I want to know if you have a pump spell. Oh, he's saucy. What is it? Is it shed weakness? Well, I'm not going to block because what I can do is in a future turn I can set up, now we know he has some kind of a pump spell, and we can set up where I can pump my Storm Chaser Mage in response to his pump spell, or perhaps cast a removal spell in response to it. Them Coral Merfolk are fearless, is what I'm noticing. Well, there's a removal spell. You could attack, play Drake, and see if our opponent still attacks. Well, they'll attack no matter what is the problem. I think we'll just play this here Visions. And since I didn't block last turn, I'm going to attack. Now that they're stuck on mana and they have some pump spell that they're holding up, I don't want to get into combat. And now I have a removal spell, so I can try to set things right that way. Let's get the race afoot. And it's a frost lynx. Meow. The pain is here. The pain is real. Nighthawk would like to be known that he's calling for the aspiring aeronaut, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. He doesn't remember the name, but I do. All right, let's see how our opponent wants to attack this Drake. Or if they have another Frost Lynx. And now we can hold the shock up. Man, now we're just blue sources for days. The top of the deck was just meant for this hand. Nighthawk says, how the heck did you know that? Because it's me, man. I'm born to know these things. All right, opponent with the tap down tempo. So do we shock here? So our opponent's gonna take 2, go to 14. Shock can do 6. Take inventory and telling time can do 7, 8, 9, 10. Whereas his attacks can go for 5, drop me a 9, and then for 7, drop me to 2. So yeah, we shock here. Arrogant Rabbit asks for he tries to use the command to get Thopter guy. Didn't work. Yeah, that's the kind of talent you gotta have it. And apparently he got banned for it. Not really. Y'all are funny. I love it. All right, so Drake stays tapped. I'll lead on the inventory. See what we get. But we are flooding yet again. 22 lands, but never miss a drop. Oh, that's pretty clutch. That's pretty clutch. Let's get those off the board since we were behind in the race, but now we can get this 3/5 to attack. And we can get this fumerole on the table. Twin Bolt. Tearing up starter decks since 2015. Another Drake. Sweet. Game is falling into dire straits for the opponent. They're going to move all in. Here comes Primal Bellow. What else? Do they have Primal Bellow and Titan Strength for the lethal or larger than life? I mean, you don't cast that main phase if you don't plan to swing. Will it happen? Will we get comboed out? Not quite yet. Down to 6. Titanic Growth, Blossoming Defense. Oh, would have been a sight for the ages. Would have been a moment, but not today. All right. But we have to keep that fog in mind, don't we? We know better than to get carried away. We know the power of the fog. Let's see if we can find an insult. We found an unsubstantiate, but that won't stop fog. We have another telling time. We can telling time into the unsubstantiate. That gives us lethal. Okay. But so does the shock. Alright, I guess I can see if this damage resolves. If it resolves, shock is lethal. If not, alright. I guess we can play the Drake still. We also have to wonder about Pulse of Marasa, don't we? So I will try to cast this now. If he has Pulse of Marasa for life gain, then we still want to do the max damage we can. But there it is, got there. 4-0. Wow, what a funky Coral Merfolk Primal Bellow battle that turned into. Coral Merfolk. Someone's favorite color is vanilla. Favorite color. Flavor. Arlen Cord, what's a nice lady like you doing in a weirdo electrical sewer like that? Not a combo you see every day. Gets me optimistic. Your ugly mama. Well, my mama's been insulted. You know what that means. We must achieve victory. For my mama. And we can keep this hand. Has to look at another 7. Still thinking about it. Keeps it. Alright. This game is afoot. Leads with Sunken Hollow. Let's take that inventory, shall we? Still, the lands. I cannot believe how many lands I continue to draw. I think we faced off against his player handle before. I believe it. Is it ugly, mama? It is. Oh my. And we've got Esper zombies, perhaps. That's a problem. They probably have a lot of ways to kill an Enigma Drake. So I don't think I just want to throw it on the battlefield into a Grasp of Darkness or a Never. I may want to wait until I can cast an Unsubstantiate. It is my only threat. And I don't want that Crypt Breaker doing anything, so I'm going to get that off the battlefield now. And we need to draw another threat. If we run into one of those turns with nothing to do, I'm really going to have to think about whether or not to put this Drake on the table. There's a Diregraph. That has to die. So, oh, it's a 3-3? Yeah, because I killed the Crypt Breaker. Boo on me. Insult. So I think what I have to do here is play a weak Drake and set up Insult Twin Bolt with Drake to do a lot of damage. But if the Drake just dies, we're in a horrible spot. Hopefully my opponent is so greedy that they want to get their Diregraph trigger that they play another zombie here. It would be even better if they could do nothing, but it seems unlikely. It's just a little 2-4. Don't be afraid. You can't do anything. You can't get you. Oketra. The fudge? Alright. I don't know what my opponent's up to, but I think I just have to go for the kill. I think I just have to go like super ham or something. Maybe what I can do this turn is expedite and twin bolt. Let's see. If I insult, I'm going to attack for 8, and twin bolt does 4, so that's 12. That leaves him at 7. This flashes back for 2. I don't know where I get the rest of the damage from. Now, my other option is to expedite this turn, draw a card. We should see what we draw. And then we can probably twin bolt and leave up unsubstantiate. That gets us in for 17, down to 11. Then the next turn, so I can hold up unsubstantiate, I can unsubstantiate a blocker or save my Drake from a removal spell. Then I play insult. I have 5. That attacks for 10. God, that's 1 point short. But if I draw one more land, if I blank and draw a land, I can flash back insult and win. So I think that will do the job. All right, so this is the line. And there's the other land. Yeah, if we cast Injury, we do shrink our Drake. So we have to save that for like the very last thing we do. That would have to be the last play we make. But it's okay. Right now it is. Right now, we use this unsubstantiate. We're attacking for 12 and then flashing back for 2 is lethal. There's the never. Here's your unsubstantiate. Please don't also have Grasp of Darkness. Please don't also have Grasp of Darkness. Doesn't look like it. And I bet the opponent did give me that window, and they resolved a Ketra when they should have killed the Drake. All right. Moment of truth. Slow roll the island. Make sure this hits. Got there, and bang! That's how it's done. That's how you find the line, everybody. That's how you find the line. If we had gone like insult and try to kill Diregraph Colossus, who knows how long that game would have gone, and our Drake would have died. Not to mention, it's quite possible the Never Return could have exiled the Injury before we even get a chance to use it. "5-0! That was our 5-0. That was a good one, too. Now whose mama is ugly? That's right, Yonder. That's right. That's right. Okay, it's going on about 6 o'clock, so I need to make dinner. I need to feed my animals, maybe take them for a walk. Pro Tour Top 8 coming up in about 2-ish hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes from now. I'll be in the channel hanging out, so come on back then if you want to, or I'll host the VOD right now, so you guys can watch the last 2 very exciting rounds of Standard as they lead into it before the Top 8. So I'm going to hit that host button in just a minute if you want to hang out and watch that. And I'm going to log off for the day. Thank you much, and I'll see y'all later.